enterprise or whatever. And so I guess there's a lot of room to be more effective in helping people enter entrepreneurialism to create those firms and those enterprises that then could use your services, and then to readily in that process help them know that you're there in the early days of their work, so that when they're going for SBA loans and when they're looking at their business model, that they put you in there, because what you do, David, is you're a tool for predictable success.
Yeah.
But we're not staging things that way. So you want to kind of comment about that, David?
Well, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. When I was in Dallas, I was in a group called Million Cups, and I'm sure they're all over the place if you could find them. It's 1 million cups. It was actually started by the Kauffman Foundation here in Kansas City. So when I got to Kansas City, I got to go to the flagship place. 1 million cups is an entrepreneur incubator. What they do is they help develop ideas. So in the way they structure it here in Kansas City is you get to go on stage and pitch your disruptor venture. And then you'll have a bunch of people from the audience come up and tell you what pitfalls you might have. It's almost like a Shark Tank evaluation. And then after that, there's another ancillary group called Bunker Labs that helps on the other side. They're a for-profit organization that helps launch startups too. So both of them work in conjunction here in Kansas City, getting solopreneurs and young entrepreneurs the kind of start that they need. And so I like to get in there, and part of our delivery, because all my years experience, I can bring that to that. And to address another thing that we talked about earlier, I don't want to get off track, but have you ever seen Mission Arlington? You can type it in, Mission Arlington. When I lived in Texas, this was one of the most brightest stars that I've ever seen as far as a mission that works fine. In fact, the lady that runs it, she's about 90 years old. They call her the Mother Teresa of Arlington. It's called Mission Arlington Mission Metroplex. And what is great about it is it's only about 5 blocks from AT&T Stadium, and it's right next to UTA, University of Texas at Arlington, and it's right in the heart of downtown Arlington. And they didn't zone it out or move it to the fringes. It's the heart of Arlington. So Arlington, Texas has a feel for that. They need a mission in the middle of it to take care of people, which shows their heartbeat, which I thought was really great. And the one thing I think is the most important thing about that, there's all kinds of ideas about it. What I think is about this is all the churches that support it, the people go there and actually work there. One thing for a person to write a check to a group, it's another thing to actually go and donate time and actually physically see the people that are there, physically interact with the people that are there, get to know that they're not just statistics. And it's easy to write a check. It's another thing to get down there. And I've seen some great stories because they do that. So Mission Arlington, Mission Metroplex, I think it's doubled it now, but those are good. It's a good example of that. So
good stuff. So Amato, as we're talking here, we're kind of approaching our final segment of our show today. With you coming in here, scheduling with us, you're talking with David, we're kind of throwing you curveballs. Where are you at now? Anything you want to make sure to get in here to share with our audience to kind of round things out and more represent about who you are, what you do, and the scope of your work and other efforts outside of maybe, what you've been sharing so far? Oh, you are on mute.
You're on mute.
There you
go. Sorry about that. So aside from being an advocate for the homeless and people that are dealing with substance abuse, I have my radio show where I'm always looking for people to feature and to interview as well, entrepreneurs, business owners, unsigned artists, you name it. I'm always looking for music. So I didn't put the email in there, but you could send your music to thecut.juice899@gmail.com. And the music has to be with no cursing, please, since it is a radio friendly radio, friendly radio, kid friendly radio. And then also with the dancers, you know, we're always looking for dancers for my media channel to interview and to put out there. If you need any video work, any photography, um, you know, hit my line. You could go to my Facebook fan page account, also my Instagram, um, Amato Mio. You can type that in. Um, what else? What else? I am also teaching now financial literacy because I feel like that's very important, especially in the inner city communities. You know, there's a lot of GoFundMe accounts for when their loved ones pass away, but they should have life insurance set up from when they're born. You know, luckily, you know, my grandparents and my mother, they did the right thing and they had life insurance for me. But there's a lot of families that don't even know about life insurance and don't know about creating generational wealth or financial literacy. You know, they're having to depend on the government and they're having to, you know, go from paycheck to paycheck. So I'm thankful that I'm able to learn about, you know, equity and assets and stocks and IUL accounts and index accounts, ways of growing your money. And I just want to be in a place where I'm actually teaching that to inner city youth and mentoring young men, you know, that were are like 18 years old that, you know, don't know about these things. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Excellent.
Better, could you put that in the chat, like the email
Yeah.
or whatever you said? But Kurt, we do a radio show.
We do.
We're into radio.
You're into radio, Emily? What radio are you in?
Yeah. Dude.
So what are you talking about, Emily? Share with us. Do tell.
Okay, so David might already know this, but Amato Kurt 5 years ago created a radio show that is through a radio station in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And he called it Ability MKE now, which MKE is Milwaukee. But the whole like disability advocacy and kind of for in the Milwaukee area and so on. And so that's just kind of what reminded me of you said radio.
Okay, yes. I just
But we have a couple other podcasts, not just this one. So both of you are welcome to on any of the other ones as well.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, Kurt. I had a radio show back in 1970 on, but after I graduated from my MTV gig, we actually I worked for WTRN. It's in Tyrone, Pennsylvania. Well, Tyrone is about 30 miles south of State College, where Penn State resides. But in the morning, our broadcast went over there at 6 o'clock in the morning. Penn State students were up, so we had to play twangy country music. I mean, they considered Charlie Pride and Johnny Cash progressive country. So we had to play Tammy Wynette and George Jones. If it didn't twang, they didn't like it. So in the middle of the afternoon, we started to play what they call progressive country. So then you got a little bit. And then, of course, during the Penn State students started to wake up about 5 o'clock or get out of class. So at night, we would play Jimi Hendrix and hard rock. So we went the full cycle in one day with our album, and it was so fun. So it was just one of those unique times in history where you could do a little bit of everything. And our advertisers were all over the board, you know, it was just interesting.
Yeah, good story. Yeah, good background. So yeah, we can all talk shop. I like this. This is Emily, you did good. You got a good culmination here. You know, we're all talking the same gig.
Well, it was all great for that. It was all great for the salesman because they could walk into a place, you know how radio and when you're a DJ back then, you had to sell your own airtime.
Oh, sure. I can
Yeah, when
imagine.
you're starting out, you had to sell your own airtime, and it was easy because you could walk into the guy. Well, we fit every market. We fit every market. But one of the worst thing was though, the first day on the job, that guy said, "Well, you're gonna play Santa Claus on the air." You know how it is, like you little country station. I said, okay. And I asked the first kid, "Oh, ho, ho, what do you want for Christmas?" He didn't know. I said, "Well, what do you think your parents are going to get you?" He goes, "Well, I don't know. My dad's dead." Of course, Santa Claus should have known that, but
Oh, no.
and it went downhill. It went downhill from there.
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
Well, we do what we can. We do our best. We try, so good stuff. So David, before we get too far off the beaten trail here, I want to give you a chance that if folks are enjoying this conversation, hearing you talk and with what you're doing with your VA services and so forth, kind of give them a tip, how do they reach you?
All right.
How do they come to use what you're offering?
Sure. The best way is to go onto our website, www.yourofficesos, either .net or .com. I have them both. Your Office SOS, and we offer a free consultation there. And again, you'll learn a lot about your own time management and your own business, if nothing else. So go to www.yourofficesos and log into the free consultation.
Excellent. So David, I want to bounce one more thing off of you. As I participate in the business community, I do a little bit of effort to kind of prompt and nudge business people to figure out in our business plans, that room for what I might call an affinity, cause, marketing, strategy, and then otherwise operationally to look at how nonprofits are effective for our for-profits. And then even at the Happy Neighborhood Project, we're in the cooperative realm, the Happy Co-op. And so when we got introduced to the Happy Co-op, the explanation was, okay, there's for-profit, there's nonprofit, and then there's co-op. And it really is, to me, where if we're effective entrepreneurs, we're going to have strategies in our fiscal year where we're kind of tapping the nonprofit and the cooperative space to translate and map that back to our sales process, because it's all access to our marketplace and our community. So do you have any thoughts on that, David, in terms of like how that works in your business and then just generally what that's all about?
Well, I think that Happy Neighborhood Project's onto something here with the co-op and everything. I really see, and I know it's been around for years, but I see a combination of the co-op plus barter situation. Barter really works well when there's inflation and high taxes. And I think that may be a way of the future where we barter our deals too. And that could be between nonprofit, profit, and everything else. So I think the bottom line is we're just all going to have to see what the future holds and pivot, because nobody, if ever the future has been more uncertain, it's today. And uncertainty is terrible if you don't take it negatively. If you look at it, I think the Chinese character for opportunity and uncertainty is the same character. And opportunity and uncertainty go hand in hand, and you need to be able to have a positive outlook, saying this is going to create something new. It might disrupt the old ways of thinking, but obviously I think it's going to cause people to get we've already been divided enough in this country. We need to start coming together, and that I think we're going to have to.
Yeah, wow. I'm glad you mentioned about the Chinese character, another space I need to learn, because I wonder what the Chinese character is for entrepreneurial spirit, because opportunity and uncertainty, that's the whole game of entrepreneurs, right, David? So Amato,
he's
what's
so,
that?
I swear he'll mention things and it's like correlating to my life, because I spent time living in China for like 6 months. So you say Chinese, I'm like, wow. And then you said something else, MTV, right? You said MTV?
Yeah.
I was featured. Yeah, so I used to intern for MTV. And actually
Amado, isn't it good that we rescheduled from last week to this week?
Yes. I believe nothing
This
happens
is
like
awesome.
coincidence.
I didn't know this was going to happen either. But
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Oh, wow. This is entertainment right for me in producing this show. Great twist on that, Emily. So, Amato, just so you know, when I was told that you were rescheduling for today, I was kind of like, Emily, we didn't need to reschedule. We could have got her did. But, like to Emily's point, sometimes these surprises work out really well. And yeah, she's accurate. It does culminate nice here today. Thanks for joining us today, Amato. And for you, Amato, what is a way that as people think about what you talked about on today's episode and they think you could be resourceful in what they're doing, maybe collaborate with you and talk shop, how could you guide people to be able to participate in the groups you're involved with and in the community? And what would you recommend, for people who share what you're doing and the interest for what you do and want to connect?
Well, I would say you could add me on my LinkedIn page. My LinkedIn is /Amato Mio with 2 I's. It's like that Rita Hayworth song. I'm not sure if you're familiar from the legendary movie Gilda. It's Amato Mio with 2 I's and then 888. So 3 8s. You can connect with me on Rhythm Addict TV on YouTube. Also, my Instagram is Amadeus, AMAREDEUS. And my fan page is on Facebook as well, Amato Mio with the 2 I's. And I would just say you got to put yourself out there, realize your purpose, have your own identity, be authentic in all of your ways. Don't look to the right or to the left, because like in this way of social media, we could, get so blinded by comparison and contrasting and, a competition. Then like what David said, it's about coming together, everyone plays a role. Everyone has a role to play in this world. And we all have gifts within us to help repair the world. It's up to us, So I would just say to realize the greatness within you, take time to develop your skills, develop your character, and be patient. Be patient with yourself, because there's timing in everything. That's what I've learned as well. There was a time where I was like, oh, I want to be doing this and that, but I was looking at other people instead of looking inwardly. And God then created an opportune time for me to do what I love to do, and like he said, it's about that 360 degrees, you have to get outside of your network. I was forced, I had moved to New York and I was alone. So it's like, okay, now I'm having to really put myself out there and force myself to make these connections and be uncomfortable. So I would just say also be willing to be uncomfortable, because that's where you grow. That's where you get connected with the right people, and that's where you flourish. So yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Amato. So for everybody out there, I want to make sure you all know, first of all, you might have heard a dog bark. That's Minnie Roscoff, to give her credits. And then we've been referring to the Happy Neighborhood Project. I want to make sure everybody out there knows you can go to happyneighborhoodproject.com. There's a short link, hmpabc.com. And I mentioned the co-op, the Happy Co-op has a.com, thehappycoop.com. Check out the Happy Neighborhood Project on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and with the founder, Edwin Edeberry. Look for him as well on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything. Lots of great resources. And all of us here are involved with the Happy Neighborhood Project, Emily, David, Amato, and myself. So definitely worth your look and definitely worth sharing. And if anything came up today that you would like a little customer service type attention to, I'm happy to help everybody out there. Myself, Kurt, Kurt, at thedisabilitychannel.us. And folks can call and text me 262-372-1SKI. That's 262-372-1754. So this is one of the Transform You podcasts. Transform You, the brand is Transform the letter U. So transformu.us is the enterprise there. And then we're broadcasting, transformubroadcast.com. Lots to be had here. We're collaborating on the World of Ability Podcast Network as well. We hope you enjoyed Onward and Upward, and I'm going to take it over to our chief host and podcast engineer, Emily Gulmer. What is next on your agenda as we are in wrap-up time?
Not mute button, I swear. I just wanted to, thank David Amato for being on here today. I think it was a great conversation. And to thank everybody who has tuned in. And we encourage everybody to tune back in next week, same time, same place. And to visit our social media pages and to like, share, comment, and so on there. And thank you for leaving those.
And we have David raised his hand. So David, you got something to get in here before we end?
Oh, I just want to say thank you very much. And it was just a God thing that Armando and I were on together.
Yep, good stuff. Great episode. So Emily, if you didn't have anything else, you can make it a wrap and cut us off. I think we can put a bow on this one.
Yeah, until next week. Or next time, I should say.